What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're here for a Monday Night Raw review for August the 8th, 2022. On the road to Clash at the Castle, we've had two things happen tonight. The women's tag team titles tournament started, and we got a second match going into Clash at the Castle. But we did have ourselves, I will say, if you want to look back at Monday Night Raw last week, which was supposed to be a statement, and this week, I'd say last week was better. On top of the fact that we had no commercial breaks for the first hour last week, I'd say last week's show overall was good, but this crowd in Cleveland was way better than whatever the fuck was going on in Houston last week. Bayley, Kai, and Sky come out to the ring. Bayley does ding dong and asks fans why aren't they happy to see them? Why aren't they happy to see her since she's happy to see them? She says the fans need them, and says they are there to shake up the women's division and say the fans couldn't have possibly enjoyed watching Becky Lynch dress up weekly and seeing Bianca as the Raw Women's Champion. And I agree with on both of those. Could not stand the whole I'm not a big fan of Bianca Belair as a babyface. Bianca Belair was great as a heel in NXT. Her babyface run fucking sucks. It does. It absolutely does. She comes off as so fake and phony when the EST gimmick should be a cocky heel. Just saying. And I know nobody liked what they were doing with Becky for that entire year. They said that's what they had to make a statement and light the fire under the women's division. She asked why was she the one who saw potential in Kai and Sky, and asked how she's the only one to see it. Bliss and Asuka music hits. They both come out to the ring. Then comes Bianca Belair along with them. Bliss tells them not to get ahead of themselves. The crowd cheers Belair on. I don't know why. I still don't get why people are so like this. She has the wool pulled over everyone's eyes. Says they aren't winning the women's tag team titles, and because after they beat their opponents tonight, they're going to have to eventually face Asuka and Alexa Bliss. Belair says she is hungry, and she says the three of them have no problem dealing with them. Bayley agrees and says the three of them, 3-on-3 match, but not here in Cleveland. How about where it matters most, at Clash at the Castle? Belair accepts. Of course, Asuka and Bliss have no problem shaking their heads. Yeah, Asuka looks very excited for this. Belair, Bliss, and Asuka attack Bayley, Sky, and Kai. I love saying that just because it works so well together. Belair and them, they just fight each other all over the outside, the barricade and everything. And then eventually we get Bliss with a crossbody off the top of the barricade on all five of the women. And we go to commercial break. Back for break, it is time for Seth Rollins to take on the other half of the Street Profits. Before we get to that, let's show you the bracket for the women's tag team titles. Here is your bracket for the women's tag team championships. On the Raw side, we have Tamina and Dana Brooke versus Kai and Sky, Asuka and Alexa Bliss versus Piper Niven and Nikki Cross. On the SmackDown side, we have Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah versus Xylee and Shotzi. Natalya and Sonya Deville versus NXT's Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark. Out of all the women you could bring up to Raw, to SmackDown, you're bringing up Nikita Lyons, who is nowhere close to being ready. Nowhere close to being ready to be on SmackDown. And Zoe Stark. Yet Toxic Attractions, Gigi Dolan and Jason Jane, who is a two-time NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, are just sitting down there with nothing to fucking do. Zoe Starks has a title shot against Mandy Rose, I don't know, next Tuesday. And you're bringing them up for what? To lose to Natalya and Sonya Deville, or to be the ones to make it all the way out of the SmackDown bracket to take on Kai and Sky? Because let's face it, Kai and Sky should be winning the Raw side, no doubt about it. But out of all the women, you bring up Zoe Starks and Nikita Lyons. Why? The only two legitimate tag teams of sorts in this thing are Kai and Sky and Nikki and Piper. Everyone else are not tag teams. Not even Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark. But yet, here you go. Now, the biggest reason why you would have Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark make the finals on that side is if Kai and Sky make it over there, it gives you the history. It gives you something for these two teams to bounce off of, because Zoe Starks and Io Shirai were NXT Women's Tag Team Champions at one time. So that would give you something, a dynamic there of a heel Io and Zoe on opposite sides of the team now. But again, Gigi Dolan and JC Jane are just sitting down there going, what are we doing? We're not tag team champions. That went to Casey Catanzaro and Lacey Lane. And yes, I know it's Kaden Carter and Cantana Chance, but I call them by their fucking real names. But yeah, like, you bring up these two. Have Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark teamed at all? Anywhere? Outside of, practice matches? Have they done it on the house show loops, on the Florida loop? Have they? Why would you bring them up? Aaliyah, Raquel Rodriguez, Xylee, Shotzi, and Natalya. Natalya and Sonya have teamed together before, at least. They have. But seriously, this is what you got. My goodness. Moving on here, Seth Rollins versus Angelo Dawkins. Angelo Dawkins you know it's coming. You know it's coming. Angelo Dawkins has heard it for months and months and months that he is going to be the Marty Jannetty of this team. Look how great Montez Ford is. Montez Ford is the Shawn Michaels of this team. And Montez Ford is going to have the big solo career while everyone's gonna forget about Angelo Dawkins. And Angelo Dawkins came out here against Seth Rollins and said, "Oh, really? I'm gonna show you that I may not be as lean or as fast as him, but I'm still going to be able to go out there and have a banger of a match against Seth Rollins." This was a fantastic match. There was a spot early on in the match before the first commercial break where Montez Ford, I don't know what the fuck this guy was doing. He drops to his knees. He starts, jigging around, having, some kind of aneurysm or something to distract Seth Rollins, allowing Angelo Dawkins to pounce him over the commentator's desk. And I'm thinking, that brought me flashbacks to when Keith Lee took Adam Cole to Pound City and pounced him into the third, fourth row in NXT running down the ramp. Holy shit. Now, we get back to commercial break. They're still having this match going on. And Ford's still out there. And Dawkins is down in the corner. And Ford is he's giving some encouragement, wanting to get this guy up. Seth Rollins has had enough of this. Kicks him in the head. And Ford says, "Oh, motherfucker, you gonna come after me, are you?" So he grabs a chair, goes into the ring, and goes to try and attack him. The referee stops him, takes the chair away, and just kicks him out, so he leaves. The referee gets the chair out of the ring. The match keeps going. The ending sequence, this is great and everything. You have the stomp being missed 3 times. You got the Pearl River plunge, the big huge powerbomb that he does, the Pearl River plunge. Tried to get the win there, did not happen. In the end, pedigree 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins beats Angelo Dawkins in a very highly contested bout. Now, just like last week, Seth Rollins goes for the curb stomp, but unlike last week, Montez Ford is not there in time. So Dawkins eats a curb stomp. Ford does eventually get there and runs, and Seth Rollins runs away, laughing and being all jovial and happy. And it's this is going to get the Dawkins. Those people like that. It's Montez Ford is getting cocky. He's going to become this big time heel. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Everybody's talking up Ford as being the second coming of The Rock, or this all high and mighty guy. He's going to be the guy to usurp Roman Reigns, and he's going to be the next big thing. And how many weeks upon months does Angelo Dawkins have to sit there and take this before he says, "You know what, dog? I'm done. I've heard this way too much. I'm not doing it anymore." And he just snaps, beats down Montez Ford, puts him through a table, and leaves him laying. It's like, nah, man, not fair. We ain't bros no more. You sat there and you fed these guys and let your ego get in the way. It's my time to shine. It's gonna happen. When does it happen? I don't know, because if these guys ain't going for the tag team championships, I don't know what else you're gonna do about that. Tag team division needs to be revitalized, I think, before you break up the Street Profits, but that's just me. Also, no Johnny Gargano tonight. Anybody who had their hopes and was praying for Johnny Gargano, you were surely disappointed. We get a video of the feud between Edge, Judgment Day, and the events of last week. We see Dominic and Rey in the backstage. Dominic looks good and everything. He looks happy with his father, and then Edge shows up and he gets the stoic, what the fuck are you doing here, look? Edge walks in and says he has Rey's back in the match tonight. He apologizes to Dom, and he's like, dude, it was an accident. I didn't mean to hit you. It was just... And he's like, are we cool? Dom's like, yeah, we're cool. And then shoves him got this attitude. Ray's like, dude, calm down. It was an accident. Accident. Come on, what the hell? It's like, Dom, I've known this guy for 20 years. Dom's like, you've known me for 25. I can't believe you're taking this guy's side. And heads out. Edge offers off to help Rey Mysterio still later on. And Ray's like, no, you know what? It's fine. I know my son. He'll be out with me. It would just be worse if you were out there. Backstage, this is where some things got really weird tonight. Kevin Patrick is... Oh, wait, not yet. Never mind. Hold on. We'll get to that. It's standing with the Miz and Ciampa. Miz says there's nothing good about it because Kevin Patrick said something about phenomenal. And Miz said there's nothing good about a guy that sides with a celebrity hack like Logan Paul. Ciampa says that Harley Race was the first ever United States champion, believed in him, and has dedicated his match and gear to Race as he points over to a robe that is one of Harley Race's robes, or looks like it. Ciampa says it will be his moment, and says Lashley will feel his sacrifice. He says he will feel his pain. Back in the ring, we got Elias versus Kevin Owens. Bell rings. Kevin Owens just goes over, beats the shit out of this guy, takes him out of the ring, throws him into the fucking announce table, picks him up, powerbombs him into the barricade, into the ring apron, and that was that. Looks like that Triple H is washing his hands clean of this whole Ezekiel nonsense. Maybe next week or the week after that or whatever, Elias will return with his fake beard until his real beard grows back. And we can see the one that everyone wants to walk with return. Back from break, we see what happened with Elias. Judgment Day then come to the ring. Balor says Edge and Mysterio think they fear them. They said they can't even get on the same page, and poor little Dom has abandoned both of them. He says fear isn't real. Fear is a product of your imagination. He says Ray will find out that danger is. Priest says he wants to lay Edge out. He challenges him to a match in 2 weeks in Edge's hometown of Toronto. Priest says that when Edge started Judgment Day, he will end him in front of his friends and his family and the few friends he still has. Backstage, we see Edge and Ray, and he can't find Dominic. He'll come to his senses, he says, and tells Edge, and I don't need you to come out with me. By the way, this was the best that Judgment Day sounded since they started. Without the over-scripting of promos, these two felt more natural. They felt more real. They felt more like real people. They didn't feel so fucking robotic, and that's great. Mysterio's out there to take on a Finn and Balor. This match was a pretty good match. Everything was good tonight except for the women's tag team match, which that's no surprise here. But Balor, Mysterio, really good match here. Partway through, Rey Mysterio looks to be having things go his way. But Balor distracts the referee, allowing Damian Priest to trip up Rey Mysterio. Here comes Edge with his music. He chases him through the crowd. Ray delivers the code red to Balor. Not enough. Goes for the 619. He sets him up for the 619. Goes for it. All of a sudden, Rhea Ripley walks out. Dominic on her shoulder. Just puts him over. Drop down. His shirt's ripped. He's got blood on his face. Looks like he got the shit kicked out of him by this woman. And I'm thinking, it's official. Dominic Mysterio is Rhea Ripley's bitch. She has made him her bitch every single week for the last few weeks. Dominic Mysterio is not a man. He is Rhea Ripley's bitch. Plain and simple. This distracts Rey Mysterio, so Balor is able to hit the 1916 coup de grace. 1, 2, 3. He wins. After that, we see replay of what happened, and then Balor and Ripley staring above Dominic Mysterio. He is down and out. Obviously, the heel turn's coming. We have so many heel. We have like 2 heel turns in the process of happening, with Dom turning on his father, and Dawkins turning on Montez Ford. Sarah Strawberry is standing by with Dana Brooke and Tamina. I really don't give a shit about this at all. Dakota Kai, Sky, and Bailey are out there. Tamina come out too as well. So, this match got a lot of time. These women got some time, but man, I don't blame Kai and Sky at all. They are two fantastic women, but Tamina and Dana Brooke gave us no reason to actually care about these women's tag team titles because no chemistry between those two. Dana Brooke is average at best. Tamina needs to fucking retire. She's been doing this for 12 years on the main roster and just hasn't improved and hasn't gotten any better. In the end, big, huge acai moonsault, which I don't even know what the fuck Corey Graves called it, but it was the acai moonsault from Sky for the 1-2-3. They pick up the win. Back from break, we see the match what happened between Elias and Kevin Owens, when all of a sudden we go backstage and we see Kevin Owens, he's leaving, and Kevin Patrick catches up with him. And I don't even remember what the fuck he said because behind him we see Piper Niven and Nikki Cross in their gear, looking or being like talking to some officials and cops about this car that is clearly ran straight into a barrier or something. There's a minor car wreck. Don't know what the fuck's going on. No, like Kevin Patrick, Kevin Owens, the announce table do not even acknowledge this. But everybody, and I mean everybody, is looking on social media. It's like, what the fuck is going on back here? What the hell is going on? So then we see what happened with Mysterio's and Judgment Day. We see a live look at Dominic being checked on by the doctors with his father there. It's coming. Oh boy, is it coming. We see the championship, United States Championship spotlight we saw last week, but this time it was added in words from Bobby Lashley and Tommaso Ciampa leading up to the match tonight. I was thinking this was going to be your main event. Why wouldn't you put this in the main event? If you really want to make this championship mean something, this is in the main event. These two come out now. Bobby Lashley, Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa comes out in the Harley Race robe, takes it off, has his red, white, blue, and black gear on. Loved it. Better than the shit that he was wearing last week. So, this match was fucking good. Like, it started off slow, as you would with two guys mismatched like this. But after AJ Styles comes out and interjects himself to get rid of The Miz, it got really good. And they're still wrestling some. Miz ends up coming back. Him and AJ go into the ring, out of the ring. Tommaso Ciampa's already ripped off part of the turnbuckle. Throws Lashley's head into it. Throws him into the barricade. Tries to hit him with... He hits the Widow's Bell. He looks for the fairy tale ending, but can't get his shoulders around it. Puts him in the Gargano escape in part of this. When he put him in the Gargano escape, Toy Gray said, if you can't get things done, other people to get things done, you have to do it yourself, aka DIY. They are teasing Johnny Gargano's coming back to WWE. It wasn't tonight, but there's the Gargano escape, the do it yourself. He didn't just say do it yourself. He said it with emphasis. Like, sometimes you have to just do it yourself with infliction, with like it meant something. That line, do it yourself. Those 3 words meant something. So clearly Gargano's coming back. It just wasn't tonight. Hits Willow Bell, goes for the pin. Lashley kicks out. Lashley sends Ciampa to the mat, locks in the Hurt Lock, and Bobby Lashley gets the tap out win. Hell of a fucking match overall. So there is that. Back from break, AJ Styles and Miz have seen brawling with one another near Gorilla. The disqualification match was your main event. Omos squashes 2 jobbers. Who gives a shit? We get an interview. There'll be an exclusive interview with Matt Riddle next week. We go back to see Kevin Patrick and Seth Rollins. Patrick asks Rollins his thoughts on Riddle's interview. Rollins says he's done with Riddle. He says, all he will do is like, bro, dude, cool, Randy, yeah. It says he is gatekeeper of the wrestling industry. He says that, which I would not want to own up to being the gatekeeper in anything. Says that Riddle flushes his potential down the toilet. If fans don't believe him, maybe they should ask Dana White. Ha 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 ha. Says that if Riddle has something to say next week, then so he does too. Chad Gable versus Dolph Ziggler. We got ourselves another good match here. Just these two guys going out there. You got wrestling. You got like athletic moves. This is what WWE should be. Pro wrestling. I saw some people complaining on WWE Online today that there was too much wrestling. This isn't Vince McMahon sports entertainment. The second W in WWE means wrestling. So we're getting professional wrestling back in WWE. It's not World W Entertainment, it's World Wrestling Entertainment. And I honestly thought we were going to get a Gable win here, but Gable did work on the knee. Got him in a dragon screw, then did a twisting knee drop a couple times. Looked to get the win with the ankle lock. Ziggler was able to escape. Hit the super kick out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3. Dolph Ziggler picks up the win. Commentary announced that Alexa Bliss and Asuka will be facing Nikki and Piper next week for the women's tag team qualifiers. Now, we had Piper and Nikki give their words, and then they switched over to Bliss and Asuka, and Asuka did hit Nobody's Ready for Bliss and Asuka. Bayley Kai and Sky came into the frame, and while this is happening on, in the back we see that same car being towed. While Bayley, Kai, and Sky are trying to, intimidate the other ones, we see officers and other people run past Alexa Bliss, killing whatever was going on between these two groups. Bayley, Kai, and Sky said, you know what, fuck it, we out. And they leave, and we see AJ Styles passing them as we head to the ring for the main event. So we got AJ Styles versus The Miz. Main event. There's a funny spot here where AJ Styles had the advantage. He had the advantage, and he went outside, he went and got the candlestick, looked at it, was like, nah. Grabbed the chair, looked at it, nah. Started to pull the table out, crowd was going crazy for that. I still don't know why fans obsess over the tables more than anything. Anytime you see a no DQ match, it's like, we want tables all the time. So, that happened. Miz took advantage of that, so he's hitting him. Match goes on for a bit more. AJ actually hits the phenomenal forearm. 1, 2, ref gets pulled out by Ciampa. AJ has set a table up outside, or I think, AJ set a table on outside. Him and Ciampa fight for a bit, and Ciampa eventually gets put through a table. I wouldn't be surprised if Ciampa's back was a little bit cut open, because when he landed on this table, the thing that, the little metal piece that's on the bottom of the table, literally broke off, and Ciampa landed back first onto that thing. That did not have to feel good. Miz goes for the distraction, goes to the roll-up, does not get it. Actually hits the skull-crushing finale. After AJ tries to go phenomenal forearm, he takes a chair, throws it into his face, hits the skull-crushing finale. 1, 2, AJ kicks out. In the end, Styles clash. 1, 2, 3. AJ Styles picks up the win. And we had about 3 minutes left in the show. I'm like, what the fuck's going to go on here? People are like, oh, we're going to get Johnny Gargano. We're going to get Johnny Gargano. While AJ is celebrating, off in the barricade area where if they have a fight and brawl, that's where talent goes, where the wrestlers go, we see 2 big behemoth cops wrestling somebody down and arresting somebody. AJ looks over, it's like, what the fuck is going on over here? They pull the guy up. It's Dexter Lumis. As they pull Dexter away. What's this mean for Dexter Lumis? Hell if I should know. I find it kind of hilarious how the last two shows, Fightful Select has said that WWE is thinking about bringing back this person, aka Karrion Kross, on Friday, and Dexter Lumis tonight, and they make their return on that night. So, if you're wondering who's going to be making their return on a night for Raw or SmackDown, just pay attention to Fightful Select, because the last 2 times they said WWE is interested in bringing this superstar back or this wrestler back, they return that night. I will say the quality of the show last week was a million times better than this one. They did have, like, the camera cuts have got to cut down. I know you're going to do some camera cuts, but my God. The Ciampa and Bobby Lashley match, it was so egregious. Like, punch, camera cut. Dodge, camera cut. Fall down, camera cut. Like, God damn it, enough of the camera cuts. We'll see how, like, it's only week 2. Fully, so we'll see what happens as the weeks go on. I don't see. Well, John Laurinaitis has been terminated. Bruce Pritchard's got to go. Kevin Dunn's got to go. Then we could start seeing complete overhaul and change. Until then, we won't. But that is all for your Monday Night Raw review. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds at the France Club. Find me on Twitch.tv/France Club, and find me on Instagram at the France Club. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday for Quake Eye of the Lake. Until then, my name is the France, and I'll see you guys later.